This is a film about a town and an art collection. Like all large towns, Reading is changing fast. For many, it's a stop on the railway line from London to somewhere in the west. But in fact, Reading today is a growing international business centre, and the heart of the town is being excitingly reborn. Hard by is another well-known site, the prison walls that confined Oscar Wilde in 1895 when he was sentenced for his relationship with Lord Alfred Douglas. As he wrote in his Ballad of Reading Gaol, all he saw of Reading was that little tent of blue which prisoners call the sky. For some, Reading means Huntley and Palmer's biscuits. For some, many from overseas, it means the university. For many, it means the Oracle or the football or the Reading Festival. For others, it means the River Thames, boats, birds, fun and surprises. Surprising in a different way is Reading Museum and Town Hall, completed in the 1890s as a proud state-of-the-art structure. By the 1970s it needed refurbishment, and some people even thought it should be demolished. That would have been a shame, for it's a grand period piece. The interior was redesigned and updated in the 1990s. Today, it's a place to be proud of. In the museum are amazing finds from the Roman city of Silchester, which was a few miles away. Also, the famous replica of the Bayeux Tapestry, sculptures from the Reading Benedictine Abbey, destroyed by Henry VIII, and a great deal more besides.
It is also the home of the collection formed by Reading Foundation for Art. The Foundation collection ranges from the 18th century to the present day. Eric Kennington's portrait of a chef, for instance, Two Girls by portrait painter Jenny McCrae, and Maggie Hamlin's bronze of Oscar Wilde called Wilde at Night, which is one of the recent acquisitions. Our collection began in 1974 when a local businessman consulted the mayor, Sylvia Blagrove, about making a charitable gift to the town. She proposed using it to build up a permanent art collection for the benefit of the people of Reading, to be used and cared for by Reading Museum. It was a highly original idea, and it involved setting up a special charitable foundation. One of the first and most famous trustees was John Piper, whose studio was at Fawley, some 15 miles away. Some of the first acquisitions were made on his initiative, amongst them works by his near contemporaries Paul Nash, David Meekie and William Roberts. Not long ago, the Foundation acquired Piper's remarkable portfolio of prints and photographs, which he called Bones and Stones. Piper had a local connection, but even more local was William Havell, born and bred in Reading itself in 1782. Early in his career, he produced wonderful Thames landscapes, such as Headsall Wharf, a watercolour of vast size, full of well-observed details which any fisherman would appreciate. The ruins of the great medieval abbey at Reading have always fascinated people. Here is a drawing from about 1790 by the famous cartoonist Thomas Rowlandson. This light-hearted group of people seem to have turned up at just the right time. Another celebrated 18th century artist, Paul Samby, produced this careful drawing of the Abbey gateway. The Abbey sat between two rivers, the Kennet and the picturesque Thames, which has always attracted artists from near and far. Around 1830, Henry Pigeon recorded these eelbucks made from baskets woven locally from osiers. In our own times, Christopher Hall made a series of paintings of Reading as it was in the 1980s. Some of these views have now disappeared in the course of redevelopment, but many are still there. Two works illustrate the range of the collection. One is the print Orchard Tambourines by Sir Terry Frost, who was Professor of Fine Art at the University of Reading in the 1970s. At the other extreme is the famous Roman Silchester eagle, a bronze as impressive now as it was 2,000 years ago. Younger artists are also represented in the Foundation's collection. John Hopwood's Sunman was painted after an extraordinary out-of-body experience in 1992. Another recent acquisition is by Tom Cartmill. Abstract? Or landscape? Or map? It is in the mind, and yet it represents the whole world around us. A work of similar character is by the contemporary artist Julienne Grater, who finds in geology an extraordinary resonance between the very largest and the very smallest scale of creation. Amongst the three-dimensional works, Geoffrey Eastop's Great Bowl, built up slowly from tiny blocks of dark-stained clay to make a silent presence. The sculptor Carol Hodgson taught at the university in the 1970s. She made this bronze after travelling to Mongolia and Rome, an evocation of cavalry and power, time and change.
This giant vessel was formed on the wheel at Aldermaston Pottery. It was fired in our big kiln, fuelled with offcuts of local cricket bat willow. The brushstrokes suggest a fiery figure. As the trustees of the Reading Foundation for Art come and go, they do what they can to find good things. But sometimes good things come to them. We end with this lovely painting by the renowned artist Mary Fedden. The trustees would have bought it if they had been able to. As it was, Mary heard about the collection and made the painting an outright gift. As our Reading Thames flows on, it passes Mary's waterside studio in Chiswick, where she painted this picture in the 1950s. Sweet Thames, run softly.